What are some key industry partnerships that benefit Brighton students?
We have a large group of industrial partners which works with us. We have 4 industrial advisory boards within the school only.
And how is Brighton preparing students for sustainability and future challenges?
Sustainability is one of the core strands. It's our core value of Brighton. A building built from waste material, entirely waste material, nothing new. It's called Waste House. If you Google Waste House Brighton, you will be able to see all the details about it. Very recently, last year, the first time we actually launched one of the competition where our students from aerospace courses had developed a small rocket. Follow your dreams. Doesn't matter which line of subject that is.
What advice do you have for students?
You tell me something and I will forget. You show me something I may remember. And if you let me do something, it will be in my mind forever. If you are motivated and passionate about it, you will make it happen. And this is what matters. It's not about you, it's about how you work with society.
Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to Expert Advice at YCast Digital. I'm your host Fatima Nasi, and today we have truly special guest who has shaped both structures and student, Professor Muhammad Imran Rafiq.
Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum assalam. Dean at University of Brighton and leading voice in civil engineering education. How are you, sir?
Alhamdulillah, thank you.
Thank you very much for joining us. Would you like to tell us about the role as Dean at University of Brighton?
University of Brighton, I've got 7 schools and I'm managing one of those schools, which is School of Architecture, Technology and Engineering. The portfolio I manage includes construction, civil engineering, electrical engineering, mechanical engineering, aerospace engineering, computer science portfolio, and architecture and interior design and product design. So I manage this portfolio both from students' perspective and also from labs, staffing, resourcing, and strategic direction of the school.
That's great. And what inspired your journey from civil engineering into academic leadership?
Civil engineering leadership is one of the traits you have to have for large projects. It's quite complex to try to do any kind of large-scale project work. And those skills can then be brought forward in terms of your leadership and management. What I'm managing now is resources, making sure we are in the right direction in terms of what our future skill needs for students, what is the skill needs for industry, and we try to incorporate that within our curriculum.
And what do you enjoy most about working in higher education?
For me, it's working with students is the most enjoying part. You never get lost in new ideas. You will always get lots of good ideas every time you talk to a different cohort of students. They will inspire you even more to explore more. Most of the queries which they raise, which they talk about, because they don't know enough stuff, right? So it actually helps us to explore new venues, new avenues. That kind of shapes the future of what we do.
How do you balance research, leadership, and student engagement at the same time?
Yeah, so you have to manage time. You have to do proper time management. You have to allocate certain time to these activities. To me, working with students is the one I enjoy, as I said before. So I do enjoy doing that. I have an open door policy. Students can come in to me anytime they wish to discuss elements. I do keep a little bit of teaching still, because this is again something which I would like to be connected to students. In terms of research, I do assessment of existing structures, which is quite unique area. Once a structure is built, every 20, 30 years, you need to make sure that it is still safe for the traffic. To me, management is more like providing an environment, creating a space for them to be able to be creative and inspired.
Now we're moving towards the next segment that is completely based on journey. What motivated you to pursue civil engineering in the first place?
In Pakistan, as you know, the opportunities at that time weren't as many. The universities, private universities weren't there at the time.
Yeah.
So the options were limited. So engineering was something I wanted to do. To me, engineering provides problem-solving skills, which is what is quite useful for industry, for the society, for the country. My interest had always been in electronics, electrical components. I started to use that hobby into civil engineering. This helped me shape a new field
Yeah.
pretty much in relation to combining the sensors and instrumentation and all the data processing side within civil engineering.
And how has your international academic experience shaped your leadership style?
I think it helps a lot having an exposure of a different country and exposure of a different education system. So we have very good quality education here, but sometimes you need a different opinion, a different side of the story, a different side of the coin, right?
What's one moment in your journey that changed your perspective?
Working with students, to me, is always been very enjoyable. To me, when you speak with them in an open space, in a comfortable space where they can open up, there will be a lot of good stuff which will come out of it. So to me, a lot of what I have changed, my direction of travel, my direction of thinking, comes from working with students.
How can students stay resilient through the ups and downs of the university life?
It's always challenging when you move to a country from your country to another one where the culture is different, where the language is different. You have to adapt to. You probably are also living a very different life here. Over there, you are with limited budget in a small space, potentially not having any friends anymore.
Yeah.
You have to rebuild the whole infrastructure around you when you're there, right? So these are all the challenges which international students would face when they go there. They have to work with others, start to pick up the friendships again to us. We have a very good induction program within which we will be incorporating these ice-breaking activities where students comes in from all different countries. They have the opportunity to start to reshape their life. So we call it Belong at Brighton. And the element there is to move from one home to another. So those activities will help students not just start to do their educational work, but also kind of do all the social side of the aspects before they move into their actual study time. The other aspect, I think, which students struggles with and find challenging is the financial management.
Yeah.
And again, we have systems and processes in place by which we educate them, keep them afloat in that sense as well. If there are any financial hardships, university do provide support to students in that basis.
Now we are moving towards the next segment, that is opportunities and challenges for students. So, how Brighton support international students inside and outside the classroom?
We do have a very extensive Belong at Brighton program. We actually start much earlier before student gets there.
Yeah.
So they would have the opportunity to talk to our student ambassadors from previous years, from higher years, where they would be able to share their experiences with the potential students who are yet to come, so they can prepare themselves for it. And then once we also give them some pre-arrival tasks to do, which is not academic in nature, but helps them prepare for the university life there. So it will help them understand what sort of systems we are using, but in a playful way. So they would not realize that they're doing work in that sense, but it will familiarize them in relation to what are our online platforms, how do we engage with students outside of the class time. So we have support systems both in class and outside. So if they have any health issues, any mental health issues, any financial issues, or any problem with courses, we will have the infrastructure to support them in that journey. In addition to that, we also have what we call Skills Hub, things like additional help for mathematics. So if they struggle to do courses which require a bit more stronger maths, they can actually use that maths help and support system to help them gain grounds. And this is very important for engineering courses where maths requirement is quite strong.
How Brighton would deliver lectures, the mode of delivery, and the assessment and evaluation process.
Yeah, sure. So there will be the standard stuff that students would be familiar with, things like lectures, but we also do quite a lot of seminars, tutorials, and Brighton is famous for its applied and practical skills. We have invested very heavily over the years in increasing our lab spaces, lab equipment, lab facilities, which means that students would be doing a lot of applied and practical work, which they will be able to gain their skills on. So to me, as I was saying earlier, my hobby was electrical electronics.
Yeah.
But I was doing civil engineering and I tried to combine the two. The only way I could have done it was I had strong hands-on experience in electronics. which I was able to embed in the civil engineering. So we have the portfolio across the school is very wide. We have labs in material testing, heavy structures testing. We have making and manufacturing labs. We have 3D visualization suite. We have robotics. We have AI and its implementation, control labs. We have architecture studio spaces, and none of it is reserved for any one course. Students can interchange. If they have an idea they want to explore, which requires interdisciplinary work, our technician team would be more than happy to work with them to learn those skills which are outside of their course and embed it into their program. You tell me something and I will forget. You show me something and I may remember. And if you let me do something, it will be in my mind forever. So we are working on that last part here. We always work with students to do hands-on experimental work in the labs, which kind of then leaves that skills embedded in their minds forever. When they go out in industry, they're going to do project work, group work in large teams, and that are the kind of skills we want to assess in the assessment work. So we will be doing a lot of project work with students. They will be assessed on their projects, in their skills, which students will not feel under pressure of time to deliver to. So they will be able to demonstrate them much better in their assessment strategy.
What are some key industry partnerships that benefit Brighton students?
Yeah, we have a large group of industrial partners which works with us. We have 4 industrial advisory boards within the school only, which would be very specific to their field. And these industrial advisory boards not only advises us in designing the curriculum as to what is the need of the industry at the time. This is why our curriculum always remains current. And these are official statistics. 90% of our students gains employment in their relevant area within 6 months of finishing their degree. So that's a very strong statistic, and it is ingrained in our linkages with industry. Many of these industrial colleagues would be more than happy to mentor students. So we actually have in some areas this regular mentor-mentee meetings where industrial partners will be telling students how to shape their careers, what to focus on, what industry would need. And students pick up quite a lot from these one-to-one meetings, which helps them A, gain employability skills, and B, gain confidence that what they are studying is actually have relevance in industry.
Absolutely, that's great. And how is Brighton preparing students for sustainability and future challenges?
So sustainability is one of the core strands. It's our core value of Brighton. Every program in my school have some of the core strands embedded, and sustainability is one of them. Robotics, automation is another one. Artificial intelligence is another one, which we are trying to embed and include. We also incorporate the reuse strategy. So we try to minimize waste from construction site. This is another example of sustainability. And in my school, 99% of our courses are accredited by one of the professional bodies, which is a seal of approval of quality for the programs itself. So one of the key features which we use in relation to sustainability is also circular economy. And this is something which we are quite unique in. We have world-leading experts in that area. We do cover reuse not just from the materials point of view, but also if you have a building, a structure built, we design that structure in such a way that you can decommission the structure without creating waste. And those components are then reused in the next building that you are designing for. A building built from waste material, entirely waste material, nothing new. And this is on campus, on show for students and staff. Usually people come and see how we did that. And we have world-leading experts in that area. It's called Waste House. If you Google Waste House Brighton, you will be able to see all the details of it.
Studying abroad can be an exciting yet overwhelming at the same time. So, in this segment, we're going to talk about the importance of consultants. How important is guidance for international students during the admission process?
I think it's very important because students may not have had enough exposure as to what they would look for. They may have aspiration or motivation to go in one direction. They have aspirations from their previous studies in relation to, I want to become an engineer or I want to become an architect. But they may not have enough knowledge of what is the underpinning degrees that would lead them to it.
Yeah.
What are the qualities of these degrees? What different universities deliver? And also, These days, visa processes have become quite challenging, which means that they would need some guidance and support so that there is no delay for them or anxiety for them or stress for them while doing that process.
How does Brighton collaborate with global education agents?
Yeah. So we have a setup here. We have a permanent employee which sits in Pakistan, which then liaises with all the agents to support all the students. Students can always apply to Brighton University directly through our website. But through these agents, they kind of get that extra support they need, which is very difficult to provide from there.
Yeah.
And this is why we have permanent presence in Pakistan to support students. We have permanent presence in India, China, Bangladesh, all nationalities where we have incoming students.
Now we're moving towards the next segment that is completely based on success stories and insights. Sir, what advice do you have for students who feel unsure about studying abroad?
First of all, do contact their current teachers because they would have studied somewhere, both in Pakistan and outside, so they can share their experiences. That's a good starting point. They need to know which direction of subjects they want to take and kind of get themselves focused on that. Being prepared for what will come when they go to international country. As I was saying earlier, there are lots of challenges for them. Cultural context is one of them. Language barriers is another one. Leaving all their friendship circle and starting to make a new one would be another. Our support system in the country will help them. This is where once they get there, our support systems there would be able to help them.
Yeah, this is exactly what we were talking about. Studying abroad can be exciting but overwhelming at the same time.
Yeah.
How can parents better support their children's international education goals?
I think providing support, because there will be times students would feel stressed, feel anxious, and that kind of support available to them would help a lot. If somebody is struggling, for example, in a certain subject, parents cannot help them with the subject. We are there to help them with that. But all the extra support that they would need in terms of calming them down, again, thinking of what future would be like, and for them and getting them through that difficult time would be helpful. So I think it's the moral support, it's the mental support which they can provide.
How you mentioned a student whose story really stayed with you.
So the one very recently, last year, the first time we actually launched one of the competition where our students from aerospace courses had developed a small rocket, and they did a rocket competition nationally, and they actually came within top 10. They designed a rocket from very basic raw material, which the measure was how fast it goes, how high it goes, with the least amount of fuel. One of our students, Illuminize, is actually in space at the moment. It's one of our aerospace students. So there are many success stories I can tell.
What's one mindset shift you believe all young engineers should adopt?
It's to move away just from the technical courses. Some students would be very focused on learning more and more technical aspects of the program. If somebody is doing computer science, coding is something that they usually love, but coding is going to be one aspect of their job. They would need to liaise with the industry, liaise with the people who they are working for, liaise with what product they are established. In order to capture all of that, I think you require soft skills. And these skills are very important alongside the technical knowledge that you need to have. Critical thinking is another one. Don't just look for what a book or a teacher says to you. Critically evaluate it, talk to them, work with them. They will help shape you.
I'm sure your insights are going to be help many of the young students. Now we are moving towards the last and most exciting segment. That is rapid fire. Are you ready for that, sir?
Let's try.
All right. One word definition for engineering.
Problem solving.
Lecture or lab? What do students love more?
Lab. Absolutely lab. Practical work.
Most underrated skill for engineers.
Listening. That gives them a lot of information which they can process to do work.
One leadership trait every student should learn.
Be able to work with others and be able to work with ideas which may not be yours.
Are grades more important or skills?
Skills.
A subject students often ignore but should not.
Soft skills.
One mistake students make in their final year.
Focusing too much on their dissertation piece and ignoring the other modules which goes alongside.
Future of civil engineering in one word.
Technology-driven civil engineering.
One line of motivation for future engineers.
Follow your dream. I think this would be absolutely critical that you have passion for what you're doing. Otherwise, you will just be mediocre. You have to be in the top in the field you are, and this can only be achieved if you're passionate about it.
Absolutely. Thank you very much, sir, for sharing your wisdom and your vision.
Thank you very much for having me here.
Any final message would you like to share with our audience or students?
Follow your dreams. Doesn't matter which line of subject that is. If you are motivated and passionate about it, you will make it happen. And this is what matters. It's not about you, it's about how you work with society, how you support society around you.
Absolutely. Thank you very much, sir, for
Thank you very
joining us.
much.